Well, hey there, soul family. I thought I would bring you to the community garden today to show you where I've been growing our food for the last couple of seasons. I don't have a garden of my own at this time, but I do have access to this incredibly beautiful garden where we are growing our own food and also where we have a food orchard with fruit trees, apples, pears, figs, kiwis, berries, blackberries, raspberries. What else do we have here? We have hazelnuts and, did I say peaches? In any case, here we are. It's a beautiful sunny day and there's been a dearth of sunshine the last 2 weeks. It's been mainly rain, torrential rain, big winds, and pretty cool. But right now it's warm and sunny and the bees and others are feeding at the flowers. I don't know if you can see that bee or not. There she is. We've had a lot of bees at the garden. There's a beautiful calendula. We had a huge harvest of calendula this year for calendula oil, calendula balm. I'm growing a few carnations in memory of my mama. It's pretty sunny and bright, so I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out, but I wanted to share with you where I garden and how I garden. A lot of you ask me, why is a witch living in an apartment? And that is a story that I will address in another video. But one of the reasons why I have this community garden, why I'm part of it, is because I don't have a garden of my own, and it's really an honor to be able to share in shared space. Some more calendula, parsley. So this bed here is the first bed that I gardened here at the Highlands Community Garden, and it has gone through several rotations of crops this year. It started out with garlic, potatoes, peas, green beans, and beets, and now there's going to be some more. There are more beets in there and parsley. The kale is taken off into a giant kale forest. We're going to be planting fall garlic in here, and we have some onions coming up. And then in this kind of crowded corner, I've got chives and lavender and the flowers, and some wild strawberries and an artichoke plant that has to be moved, and altogether this corner has to be a little bit thinned out. But I love intermixing flowers with vegetables. It's good for the bees, it's good for the soul, it's pretty. Here's the kale. I don't know what you can see of this because there's so much sun. But in any case, if you harvest the kale from the bottom, it'll just keep growing up into this giant tree. And you can just keep harvesting until well into the springtime. And you can see here how beautiful this kale is. And there's my little stoop and my stump. Oh, hello, there's my shadow, where I usually sit with my tea. We have collard greens growing, and this is a shared bed that we all share in the harvest. The last of the tomatoes, there were more tomatoes in here. There were cucumbers in here and squash, strawberries. We may plant some fall greens as well. And this here is my cooperation with the Fae, with the, oh, there's the bauble. They like to play with this bauble. I like to give them something shiny to play with. I like to work with the elementals, the fairies in the garden. They create super high frequency food, high vibe food, and it's really nice to cooperate with them in making the world a better place. There was a time when we were in complete cooperation with the elementals, where they taught us about what the earth needed for her health and her vibrancy, and we've gone away from that. But I learned a lot when I was at Finhorn in Scotland, the community there, about gardening with the Fae, and I just love having this shiny thing here for them to play with and to show them that I care about them and that I seek their wisdom. What else can I show you? Here's another bed that I've been sharing with a friend of mine, which has been a lot of fun. And we are growing some more kale, some really beautiful chard. I don't know if you can see. How beautiful is that? We had a whole array of things in here, and we just started some fall plantings, some arugula, some radishes and things are going to be coming up, and then we've got some Brussels sprouts that'll be ready in the springtime. One thing about this amazing climate here on the island is that we can grow things pretty much all year if it's the right things that we've planted. Here's some more of this beautiful chard. Another big, huge kale forest. I don't know what it is. I think it must be the Fae, because my kale always takes off into this wondrous specimens of hugeness. And you can just really feel the vibrancy and the frequency of this kale. It's just offers so much. In the mornings when you come here and you tip the leaves, there's so much dew where the fairies have their baths and their showers. And again, there was a whole lot of food come out of this bed here as well, and I have now cleaned it out. Let me turn the other way so you can see the bed instead of my very huge shadow right now. And now for the fall, we have planted a few more beets and some sprouting broccoli, which will come up in the springtime. We'll be harvesting that. Just go down the little ramp here. You can see the other end of our orchard where there's apple trees and some figs. And our wheelchair accessible bed that we have planted in fall and spring greens. It's a really magical spot. I like to come here to meditate. There's a lot of growing that happens of me in here as well, not just the food. There's a beautiful, very, very tall sunflower. I found that especially in these times, it's so important to find activities that feed the soul. And gardening is one of those things that gives to us, but also gives back to the earth. And how wonderful it is to be able to give back to the earth, because she sustains us. Actually having a hard time seeing what's on the screen because it's so beautifully sunny. But I wanted to take advantage of today where it is nice and bright, and I could share this little corner of heaven with you. We also have kiwis here. Not sure if I mentioned that, but and a lot of clover to add nutrition to the soil in the orchard, and also to keep the soil intact so it doesn't blow away. Trying to practice permaculture principles here, and just generally principles of living in solidarity with Pachamama. So thank you for visiting with me and sharing with me in this amazing little corner of the world. I'll come back here in a couple of weeks when we've planted our garlic and we can revisit again. Much love to you all.